Hey, what's going on? It's Pika. It is Monday night. Okay, sorry. As usual, it's Tuesday morning, but I'm talking for Monday night. Singapore. Oh, it's so hot out here, but it's been raining a lot lately, but it doesn't seem to be cooling off that much in this house, so I've got all the fans going as usual. Today was a pretty good day. Went to work, got off early, which was kind of nice. But we had like a nice long meeting to kind of sort out what we want to do, what our end game is supposed to be, and how we're going to get there. Getting ready for the Kids World Fair this weekend, so I'll be at Expo all weekend long. You should come check out the booth and come see what programs we have to offer for tuition. So we have mainly English, Science, and Math, and that's anywhere from P1 all the way through Sec 4. So y'all let me know what y'all need, and let's have a conversation. Let's see how we can help you help your kids to get through all of these exams that we have here in Singapore. So with that being said, I actually, like I said, I got off early, picked up baby girl early from school, so she was super excited because she was the first one to leave out of class, and dropped everything off at the house, and then we went grocery shopping because it's that time of month again, got to fill up the house. So picked up all our groceries, and I had picked up dinner earlier, so we had dinner first, and then went to grocery shop. Came back home, unloaded everything, and then I had to finish her hair. Now, yesterday I started her hair at about 6 o'clock, and I thought, yeah, I'd have plenty of time to finish, but I did twists instead of braids, so it took a little bit longer than I thought, and she was totally worn out yesterday. So by about nine something, okay, I take that back. It wasn't even nine something. By the time we finished eating and taking breaks. She took a lot more breaks yesterday than normal. It was like 11:30, and she was falling asleep as I was sitting there to twist her hair. So I felt really bad. I let her go ahead and fall asleep. I carried her to the bed, but I didn't finish her hair the way I wanted to. So I only did I tied up the top half, and I kind of put everything into a ponytail so you couldn't tell the half of it wasn't done. And then I sent her off to school. So today, once we did grocery shopping, we had dinner and everything, I actually had to go sit down and finish twisting her hair. So we watched Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides tonight, and that was kind of interesting because I wasn't sure if she'd be afraid of some of like the the effects that they have for Captain Salazar, but she seemed to be okay. She seemed to find the humor in all of it, and she laughed her way through the movie, and she finally went to bed. So after that, as I was trying to put her to sleep, I actually fell asleep with her for a little while. It's becoming more and more commonplace. Like, I'll fall asleep for a little while while she's watching TV. When I go to put her to sleep, she wants me to snuggle up with her, and then I fall asleep again. And then I get up in a panic, like, oh my God, what time is it? And then I realize I still haven't done the podcast, so I come out to do the podcast. And this has just been this week, I think, that's been happening. So come out to do the podcast, and then I'm like, stuck. I don't know what to talk about, but I'm getting there. So tonight, while I was going through, the uploads for YouTube, trying to figure out what all I need to get done for tomorrow, my aunt called. Now, my aunt is actually based in Houston. She is my dad's oldest sister, and she's my favorite aunt. When we lived in Virginia, she was the teacher of a Vidyalaya. So a Vidyalaya is actually like a one-room schoolhouse kind of idea, where you have many different grades within that schoolhouse. Now, the community we lived in was called Yogaville, so all of the children that lived in Yogaville came to attend the school, and they were very lucky enough to have my aunt and my uncle to teach them. Now, the reason I bring her up is because she's the original Rasathi. She's the inspiration for me getting my nickname as Rasathi as well, and then eventually the brand name is Rasathi as well. So I wanted to talk to you about her a little bit, just to give you an idea about the kind of person she was, the kind of influence she had on me, and then why I thought of, why I thought of actually branding myself as Rasathi. She is love. She is the epitome of love, seriously. So when you see this lady, and you meet her, and you shake her hand, and you speak to her for a little bit, you feel nothing but mother's love, really. I'll tell you right now, she is a very, very open and warm-hearted person. She loves to have conversations with people. She's a lot like me in that regard. Like, if anything's going wrong in my life, I know the first thing I need to do is go out and serve other people. I need to go out and talk to people. I need to, connect with other people, and it will help me feel a little bit better about who I am, or whatever it is that's going on in my life. And she's the kind of person who's always had her house open to the community. Yeah, she's taught the school in many, many different grades at the same time. She's a Montessori-based teacher, so very, very practical life lessons along with, whatever content they needed to get through whatever exams. Um, she's a very community-oriented person, so she would organize Spring Fest where all the kids would learn, dances and perform for the community just to make sure everybody rallies around and has something to look forward to, in the year. So she had kind of was a big influence on the social calendar in Yogaville, which is kind of cool. Um, she's not one of those people that, my job is done, I don't need to talk to you people anymore. It was more like once she closed up the schoolhouse, if the parents of the kids had not come by to pick up the kids yet, they walk literally 50 yards to her house and they hang out there and she helps them do their homework, she feed them some food, until their parents come to get them. So it was almost as if it was school plus tuition plus student care all rolled into one in her house because that's the kind of person she was. Even to this day, like after a while, because in Virginia you get 4 seasons, right? You get heavy winters. When my uncle got sick, they decided, you know what, we need to move to a better climate. So they moved to Texas, where their two of their 4 kids live out there. I think it's 3 of them now, but originally it was just the 2 of them. And so she moved out there so they could be in better weather and it wouldn't bother Mama so much, with his health. But even then, like even being away in Houston, and then every so often for the summers, she'd come back to Yogaville. The minute she steps foot in Yogaville, it's like it spreads like wildfire. Oh, Mrs. Raji is back. So one by one, everyone would start calling her and making appointments to come see her. It's just like that, you guys. Whenever she comes to town, everybody will clamor to come see her. And that's the kind of reputation I want one day. People want to come see me because I'm friendly enough, because they, that we have such a great bond, such a great relationship. We were good for the community. That's the kind of relationship I want with people eventually. I'm getting there, but not yet. So she is the kind of person that always takes the high road. She doesn't even look for the easy way out. She doesn't assume that there's an easy way out. She will always make sure that, whatever has to be done is done completely, without fail, without compromise. She's really good about that. She puts people first, and that's why she is so amazing. Lately, mostly because, okay, my grandmother turns 100 in January, so we're all going to Sri Lanka. All of us, like from all 4 corners of the earth, are coming together in Sri Lanka to see my grandmother. But in the meantime, my aunt is also coming. So I was talking to her and I was like, I want to go. Are you going? Yes, she's going. And she asked, will you come stay with me? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't I come stay with you? So in the meantime, since then, and especially since the floods in Texas, we've been talking to each other like every day. I talked to her for a little while when in the mornings, and I talked to her for a little while at night. And I think it's been helping a lot because lately, the grief of having lost my uncle is kind of getting to her. Now, it isn't a recent thing. It's 5 years this year, I believe, just before Christmas when he passed. But lately, it's becoming like heavier. The burden of this grief is becoming a little heavier. So for me to be able to talk to her and the kind of conversations we have, it's kind of eased that pain, that sense of loss. She kind of feels like she's still in the moment of loving him and he's still around somewhere, and we just get to reminisce. And it's another side of my uncle and my aunt that I never saw before, but it's very endearing, and it's giving me hope for the kind of marriage I want, the kind of love relationship I want. So, the playfulness, the endearing, the fact that they look out for each other all the time, that's the kind of marriage I want. I remember being at their 50th wedding anniversary where everybody came together and celebrated, and it was beautiful to see the kind of affection they still had for each other after 50 years of marriage. That is no small feat, you guys. Nowadays, you'd be lucky if people stay married for 2-3 years before they get divorced. So that's a big deal, and that's the kind of love I want. I mean, I did my best. The 2 relationships that I was in, I gave it my all. I stayed till I really absolutely could not stay anymore. And each of them was almost like 7-8 years apiece. So right now, I'm trying really hard to be by myself, learn how to be okay with being by myself, because half my life has gone into those 2 relationships. So it's almost like I don't remember what it's like to be on my own and to be content and love my life and love who I am and rediscover who I am, because I don't know if you realize in any relationship that you're like heavily involved in, you tend to lose a little bit of yourself. You kind of compromise who you are. So in that regard, I thought it was just beautiful to see these two people who are so in love after 50 years. And honestly, the biggest piece of advice that they could give me was keep a little bit to yourself. It's like not to harbor secrets, obviously, but if you're both married to each other, you work with each other, you parent with each other, you're in the house with each other 24 hours a day, yeah, obviously you're going to get bored, and then it's not so new, it's not so fresh, it's not so amazing. So what they were telling me is you each have your own likes and dislikes, you each have your own hobbies, and then you come back together for like, things you do in common. So for example, my uncle loves tennis, he loves to play Scrabble, my aunt loves to cook and entertain people. So in that regard, they were fully content with their lives because they had their own, something that they could call their own, plus they came together for everything else. So that was pretty amazing. But you guys, if I could be half the woman that this Rasathi was, I'd consider myself a success, really. She has a following, and she didn't even have social media. And it's not that she wanted to follow. She didn't do it to get a following. Her love leads the way. Her brand of love leads the way. Everybody knows if you go into Yogaville and anyone says Mrs. Raji, whether you knew her or not, they know who she is. They know which family she belongs to. They know what she did, what her occupation was, what her place was in the community while she was in Yogaville. And that right there, that is legacy. For me, I don't live in a small community. I don't have a sense of community here in Singapore, but I would like to cultivate one. And that takes a lot of effort and a lot of time, but I'm willing to put in the work. So eventually, when people speak my name or hear the brand, I want them to be able to think that, this brand stood for something. It was about creating community, about old-fashioned, old-world values, how families should be raised. It should take a village. I think I said this yesterday too. If I see your child doing something wrong, it should be within my rights to say, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Do you know that's destructive? I should be able to say that. But nowadays, people are all in their own worlds. They get super upset about you talking to their kids or, whatever. It's not the way that it was, and I think we're losing something in our society as a result. Men are adamant that, women need to be better, and women adamant that men need to be better, and I think we could all be better. I think it's time women stop expecting for men to create the kind of world that they want to live in or the kind of life that they expect to lead. It shouldn't be up to just the men. It should be up to you women as well. You set the standard. I think we're starved for affection and simple things like complimenting people because it is the right thing to do, because you see something beautiful, you want to say something about it, that gets turned into, oh, she was flirting with me, or they were trying to make a move. Things are misinterpreted so quickly, and I shudder to think what will happen in 10 years if we don't start putting up changes now. As it is, people get offended. If suddenly there's a text with all caps, you suddenly think someone's shouting at you. If someone goes more than 2 minutes without responding, you get offended. Oh my God, I guess you don't want to talk to me then, bye. Come on, man. Do you not realize that there was once a time, not so long ago, where people had to call a landline to talk to you? People sent letters when they missed you. People would arrange to meet each other on a regular basis so you could talk face to face. I mean, for us to see memes about restaurants saying, hey, there is no Wi-Fi. Talk to each other like it's 1995. That's sad. Is that really what our society has come to? And honestly, with my brand, that's something I'm trying to change. I want us to have a conversation. No, I don't. When I say contact me, write to me, speak to me, let's start a conversation. It's not like, hey, I'm starved for affection, come holla at me. No, that's not what I'm saying. Let's talk about things that matter. Let's have some life-changing conversations. Let's talk about something deep, something with value to our lives. Let's talk about the public school system. Let's talk about how you contribute to your society. Let's talk about who your greatest influences were and why. Let's talk about why you feel the way you do about your life and whether it's in your hands to change it or not. Those are the kinds of things I want to talk about. I want to lift you up. Not because it will serve me, but because it's the right thing to do. If I know that you have talent, it's my responsibility to make sure that I tell everybody I know that you have talent. That's the way I see things. Right now, it's everything's business, right? So, hey, if I shout you out, you shout me back out, right? If I, post you on my Instagram stories, you post me too, right? Everything is tit for tat right now, and I guess it works. But whatever happened to just being responsible and a good neighbor and a good friend? Whatever happened to speaking life into things that really do matter? We are quick to criticize. We're quick to complain. We're quick to, just, oh my God, I can't believe this happened again. But why not be something more than that? Why not? Okay, let me put it this way. Why can't we walk down the street and if I see another young lady with, I don't know, a really cool t-shirt, why is it not okay for me to stop you and say, hey, I love your shirt. Where did you get that? Why is that not okay? Why do people get so affected or offended, just afraid of people talking to each other? Yeah, I know there have been a few that have spoiled it for the majority, but then should we go ahead living our lives in fear that someone's going to mess with us, or should we just keep trying again? There are good people out there. I remember once, it was just very randomly, and yeah, I was in the hospitality business, so this was kind of ingrained into me anyway, but got on the train, happened to make eye contact with someone, and so I smiled. They smiled back. Great. Kept minding my own business and kept on doing what I was doing, and suddenly, I don't know, someone did something that was funny, and I laughed, and I caught that person's face out of the corner of my eye, and they were laughing too, so I made mention of it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I saw that. Did you see that? And we started a conversation, and that young man had been in Singapore for over 10 years, had ridden the public transportation system every day of his life, going to and from work, and mine was the first conversation he'd ever had on the train with someone he didn't know. That's terrible. That makes me sad. Now, lucky for me, I have a daughter. When I moved to Singapore, she was 2, and she was easy icebreaker because the minute she laughs, oh my God, that's contagious. And I can tell, like when she laughs and people are generally in a good mood, you can see their spirits pick up a little. It's like that energy like spreads through whatever place we're in, and everyone's like smiling at the end of that. That makes my heart just jump for joy. But then there are also those small moments where we're on a bus and I'm talking to her and she's talking to me, and we have a conversation and we start laughing, and there are some people who will shush us and be like, oh my God, how dare they laugh? And that makes me sad. Having her around has changed the way I see the world. Having her has kind of woken me up to the fact that, yeah, the way a child sees the world is the way we should all see the world. It's not tainted by anger, hatred, jealousy. It's not tainted by any of that. It's just simple wonder and like random messages. Okay, she catches me off guard a lot. But to see the world through her eyes, for her to like tug at my arm, like, mommy, did you see that? And then for her to explain what she saw, helps me to rethink the way I see the world. There is so much wonder. There is so much beauty. There is so much to appreciate. It's breathtaking. There's nothing more that I could ask for at this point, except for that she doesn't change the way she sees the world. It's so beautiful. It's just everything is alive and precious, and she can't believe. And did you see that butterfly? And wow, look at the sky and the shapes of the clouds. Like, when was the last time you did that? When was the last time you sat outside in a place where you could see the sky without, being overshadowed by buildings around or whatever? Look at the sky and dream about the clouds. When was the last time you did something like that? Like, do you remember that feeling when you did that last? That peaceful, contented, like everything's okay feeling. I want that. I want that. I want more of that. It's easy to stay stressed out. We stay worrying about dumb shit. I do it, but I want that easeful, peaceful, useful feeling again. So with this brand, with Rasathi, this is the aim. This is the goal. I want you to feel at home in your own skin. I want you to feel confident enough to get up and go do what you need to go. Accomplish whatever it is you want to accomplish. The sky, not even the sky, let me start again. Your imagination is the limit. And trust me, your imagination can come up with some really kooky stuff. Rajamami is my hero. She was the original Rasathi. She gave me her nickname. She passed it down, and I couldn't be more proud. I did ask for her permission when I decided to go ahead and start the brand. She was like, yeah, absolutely. And then she asked, okay, what does it stand for? And I explained, and she was like, yes, go do that. Go spread the word. Be a representative for Sri Lankan Tamils. Show the world that there's more to us than drugs, rap music, and civil war. I'm so proud. I'm so excited. There's so much to do, which I should probably get on and do some of it before it gets too late here. But I thank you so much for joining me again. It is cathartic for me to be able to sit here and talk to you guys, which is why I haven't skipped one yet. I don't want to skip one. This is part of my day. This is part of how I kind of wrap up and rethink whatever's been going on and reflect a little bit. I love it. So thank you so much for joining in. If you can, if you want to, I'm telling you, my door is open. Please just reach out, talk to me. Anybody going through tough times, please reach out, talk to me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. I don't care what we talk. We can talk about ice cream if you want. Don't be a stranger. And be proud of who you are. I know I am. So I will catch you again tomorrow. And in the meantime, y'all take care, okay? All right, good night. Bye.